Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Shitaisha. I'm from International Business Administration Study Program. Okay, I will explain about business process reengineering and lean operation. Definition: business process reengineering. Reengineering is a fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic increases in critical contemporary performance measures, such as cost, quality, speed, and service. Hamarji, 1994. From this quote, one can assume that business process change is driven by the goals and capabilities of the organization as tailored to the organization strategy, structure, and operating model, and furthermore driven by outside influence such as customer requirements and legislation. Move to the next slide about reason for reengineering. Strategy indicators that need to be put forward to determine whether reengineering is needed or not include. Point 1. The fact and belief the competitor will benefit in terms of cost, speed, flexibility, quality, or service. Point 2. The existence of a new vision or strategy. Point 3. The need to analyze new strategy options. Point 4. The company's core process are still using old technology, methods, or approach. Point 5. There have been major changes in the market, which include, among others, a significant decline in market share, b. the development of new business in competition or the emergence of new competitor, c. the emergence of important new regulation, d. product life cycle is shorter, e. new technology is starting to come into play, and v. reengineering does not always have to be done. This applies to companies that have immediately used the latest methods, approach, and technology, or that have just made major changes. Next slide, reengineering process step. 1. Positioning yourself for change. 2. Make a diagnosis regarding the current process. 3. Redesign the process. And 4. Transition to the new design. Next slide, definition lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing is production practice that considers all expenditure of existing resources to get economic value with the customer without any waste. This waste is the target to be reduced. Most companies engaged in production will use lean manufacturing. Lean always look at product value from the customer point of view, where the value of a product is defined as something that the customer is willing to pay for. Next slide, lean manufacturing goals. The application of lean manufacturing in a production system has several objectives, namely, point 1. To reduce waste in all aspects of production or in the supply chain. Point 2. To increase the quality of the output or product and productivity. And point 3. To shorten the lead time or time needed in production. And the last slide, benefit of lean manufacturing and lean manufacturing principle. Benefit of lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing is a breakthrough strategy that allows companies to get money benefits such as the following. Point 1. Able to reduce production costs so that product selling price and be lower and can compete with competitor. Point 2. able to increase the company's production productivity. Point 3. Able to meet the increasing demand for customer. And point 4. Able to increase process efficiency in production product. Lean manufacturing principle. The objective of lean manufacturing above illustrates that the implementation of lean manufacturing in a company must have at least three basic principles, namely, point 1, demand value principle, point 2, waste elimination principle, and point 3, support the employee.
Business Process Reengineering, presented by Jacqueline Christopher. Business Process Reengineering was co-founded in the early 90s by Michael Hammer and James Champy. It's a methodology to radically redesign core business processes to achieve dramatic improvements in productivity, cycle time, and quality. Companies start with a blank sheet of paper, removing whole processes that do not deliver value to customers. There are 7 principles of BPR. 1. Organize around outcomes, not tasks. 2. Integrate information processing work into the real work that produces the information. And 3. Identify all the processes in an organization and prioritize them in order of redesign urgency. 4. Treat geographically dispersed resources as though they were centralized. 5. Link parallel activities in the workflow instead of just integrating their results. 6. Put the decision point where the work is performed and build control into the process. And lastly, 7. Capture information once and at the source. There are several benefits to employing BPR. Decrease costs and cycle times by automating or removing manual activities. Increase productivity by using less resources to complete the same amount of work. Improve quality and customer service via clear process ownership and customer focus, and improve competitive position. No methodology is complete, and BPR can be challenging to employ, namely because it requires large, immediate, and radical changes. People generally have a hard time with change. Challenges with BPR include decreased employee morale, reduced staff layoffs, incomplete impact analyses, and an all-or-nothing approach to change. Implementing BPR can be successful with some modifications to the methodology. 1. Assess all impacts and create a plan for related people, processes, and systems. 2. Communicate change impacts early, often, and in multiple mediums. And 3. No initial designs are perfect. Practice continuous improvement. There are 6 key principles to implementing BPR. Start with a clear vision and measurable objectives of success. Analyze all processes, identifying underperformers most impactful to the organization. Understand and measure underperforming processes to be redesigned. Establish IT systems that will support reengineering efforts. Design, build, and test the reengineering process. Resolve errors in testing before going live. And lastly, prepare the organization for change and the newly designed process. Let's look at a real-life application of BPR using the telecommunications industry. American Tower Corporation is a leading owner and operator of cell towers. American Tower is performing well, but still has archaic processes. Let's evaluate their purchase order process and how they plan to improve. Today, in order to send a purchase order to a vendor, a requester must fill out an offline spreadsheet and email it to a centralized inbox. Another team receives the request and manually transposes the information into Oracle. If any of the information on the request is incorrect, the person transposing only knows the data doesn't match, but doesn't know why or how to fix it. So they must send it back to the original requester to fix, and the process starts all over again. The requester gets back their work only knowing it's wrong and has to repeat the process, guessing how to fix the error, causing frustration. Even in situations where the user gets all their information correct the first time, they still receive a request to validate the information they originally provided, a wasteful and equally frustrating event. Using a re-engineering effort, American Tower is implementing process and system enhancements that allow requesters to enter PO requests directly into Oracle. If there are any errors, the requester knows why and can immediately correct. If there are no errors, the request is processed with a system validation and no additional approvals needed. The improvement eliminates the need for duplicative data entry, decreases cycle time and administrative efforts, and relies on IT systems to ensure adherence to controls. BPR is a great tool when companies need to make radical changes to decrease costs, improve customer satisfaction, and stay relevant. When employing BPR, it's important to have a clear vision of your future state and run a thorough change management initiative in parallel, ensuring a company's most valuable resources, its people, are taken care of. Thank you for your time. This synopsis of business process reengineering was brought to you by research from the following resources.
Okay, thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.